Shakur Stevenson doesn't deserve a shot at Devin Haney's Undisputed over Gervonta Tank Davis. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, it's been a lot of talk going on here in the past couple of days. A lot of talk coming from Bob Arum. And he's really pushing the fact that Shakur Stevenson shouldn't fight Gervonta Tank Davis. And, you know, at this point, I totally agree with him. I understand why he doesn't want Shakur to fight Tank. But I don't get why there is no mention of Devin Haney versus Tank, you know, coming for Bob Arum. It's just like he's not even acknowledging the fact that Tank has blown up into this humongous superstar. So my question is, does Shakur Stevenson actually deserve a shot at Devin Haney's Undisputed? And I want to give my 2 cents on that. So to me, I feel like, you know, Shakur Stevenson, what have you done? You know, what have you done at 135? You've had one fight at 135 pounds. Like, I don't understand how that puts you in position to leapfrog Gervonta Tank Davis, who's basically beaten, 4 or 5 top 10 fighters within the past 3 years. Like, just think about that. How many other boxers can you say that about? You know, I'm not even sure if Devin Haney's beat that many top 10 fighters in the past 3 years. Perhaps he has, but I'm not sure if he has. Because Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, and there's another name I can't never remember. But those guys were all within the top 10 of the 130, 135 pound division. So I don't understand how Shakur Stevenson can just jump into the division and somehow be the next guy up. Other than, you know, Bob Arum is their boss, basically. And he controls the belt, so he pretty much can make the fights that he wants to make. And, you know, if you think about it, Gervonta Tank Davis even had to admit that he doesn't pick his own opponent. So I wouldn't say that it is unusual for Bob Arum to be picking the opponent for his fighters or trying to make in-house fights if they're available. I just don't understand why he wouldn't want to capitalize on the biggest fight that's out there, which is Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis, knowing that Devin Haney is eventually going to leave the division, perhaps within the next year. So if he's going to leave, you're going to miss out on all that money and the opportunity to, you know, have fans tune in to Top Rank again, you know, because Top Rank has become kind of like the boring promotional company of boxing, and PBC is kind of like the new kid on the block. It's more exciting, a lot of black fighters, so, you know, it draws in that hip-hop crowd. And Bob Arum is just missing out on a lot of that because he's very old school. He tries to keep things the way they used to be. And, you know, that's not always going to work. You know, unfortunately, it's probably going to take for him to no longer be around anymore before Top Rank changes the way they do business and tries to adopt some newer mottos and some newer ways of going about dealing with cross-promotional fights. Now, I know that's the biggest obstacle in all this is the fact that, you know, Shakur Stevenson is on Top Rank and Gervonta Davis is on PBC, but Bob Arum seems willing to work with them for Shakur Stevenson. He admitted that. He said if they would agree to what Devin Haney agreed to, then the fight is easily made.
The value of money is made based on what a man says. Real currency is love, and that's God-made. So why would you listen just logically to man telling you that his currency is more powerful than God's currency, which is love?
And then you got Devin Haney, who's on Top Rank, and then Gervonta, who's on PBC. But he doesn't even make light of that fight, really. He doesn't even acknowledge the fact that that is the biggest fight in the division. Maybe they're trying to milk it. Maybe they think that they can get that super fight, in-house super fight, and they can milk that, and then they can perhaps put Devin Haney up against Gervonta Davis before he leaves the division. Now, if that's the case, I still wouldn't be for the Shakur Stevenson fight because I don't think he deserves it before anybody else who's already been in the division. But I would have a little less to say about it, but I still think it would be bogus because he's basically, once again, leapfrogging guys that have been in the division, that have put in the work at 135 pounds, and that have beat, multiple top 10 guys within the division. You should have to prove something. One fight is not proving anything. One fight is one fight. And you could possibly go in there with Devin and get beat. Then what? It could have been somebody else who got that opportunity who could have possibly beaten Devin. Or you can go in there with Tank and possibly get beat. Same thing for that situation. It could have been somebody else who possibly could have challenged Tank a little more. And I'm not saying that because I don't like Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur Stevenson is one of the next guys up. But I'm like, man, new age boxing, new school boxing, the old generation, they want everything so easily. And it seems like they get it so easily and they don't have to go through the adversity that boxers had to go through back in the day that made those guys extremely entertaining. What was entertaining about, some fighters back in the day, and pretty much all fighters, because back in the day, pretty much everybody had at least one loss or maybe two losses on their record, was going through the adversity, seeing them be down and get back up and be stronger the second time around. That's the real glory of sports, even in other sports like football, basketball, team sports. When your team loses, let's say they go to the championship, when the Bulls went to the championship and they lost back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and then the following year they went to the championship and won, it made it that much more exciting because your favorite team overcame adversity. You were the underdog for a little while, and being the underdog is actually good. I think a lot of people like to rock with the underdog.
I was in the 6th grade, I'm walking in the hallway. Kindergarten teacher grabbed me up. Thought I escaped out of her class. I accepted the nap time and shit. I was tired. She tried to make me go back to class. I said, nah, with my snack at.
It goes to show that there's a big disparity or a difference in the sport of boxing from the old school to the new school. Nothing wrong with the way that the new school is doing it, but they got to evolve more quicker. If you're gonna, do stuff like let, fresh fighters into a division leapfrog other fighters that have already been there, you got to do some more innovative stuff than just, sticking these in-house fights in our face. And I feel like that fight wouldn't even do that well on pay-per-view just because everybody wants to see Davis versus Haney. Shakur Stevenson is cool, but Davis versus Haney is where the real money is at. And I think that's where the real fans will tune in. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. That like button for me. Share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube. So holla at me over there. If you would like to collabo, feel free to hit my Gmail. It is flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are live.
I know you like it, bitch. This shit right here is groovy. Don't need no camera, bitch. My life is like a movie. This that shit you can ride to. This that shit you can ride to.
It's how to get it out, you know what I'm saying?
This that shit you can ride to. This that shit. You say you a Mac need bitches. Overcut dope, you pack need stitches. I heard him clapping, but it's not enough hands. Cause it's too many rappers, not enough fans. Too many bitches, not enough pants. So she walk around bottomless, hippopotamus ass. I hope that you acknowledging the bottle and grass. I have your whole pipe polishing, swallowing fast. For my niggas that'll do it if they got to. If it goes down, they got you. Attack whoever in the way of the pay, they'll jab you. For the males, females, they slap you. I know it sound kinda mean, I'm a harsh fellow. And you a marshmallow, heart pump, orange jello. Hell no, they ain't fucking with the dude. I the monster squad, that's a lose-lose. I know you like it, bitch. This shit right here is groovy. Don't need no camera, bitch. This that shit you can ride to. This that shit. Hey yo, I'm smoking on the finest pine that you can find. So even though I'm a pimp, I can't sell dimes. I'm super fresh, piranha black jeans on. I just wanna get rich, put my team on. And niggas talking about support bill, hip hop, but ain't supporting shit till they homeboy shit drop. What's the use of being political? Why hypocritical? My niggas is all I listen to. You wonder who the shit, well it isn't you. I'm fly as a bird, y'all pigeon food. All you monkey ass niggas get ridiculed. Monster squad, what real niggas listen to. Put your money on sauce, that's your best bet. Out of GGP, niggas spot less. I'm the best, and you are just a pest. And I got pest control to suppress any threat. Louis Key. I know you like it, bitch. This shit right here is groovy. Don't need no camera, bitch. My life is like a movie. And this that shit you can ride to. This that shit you can ride to. This that shit you can ride to. This that shit.